Hello again, partners. Wow, here we are at report number 61. This time, Dennis has chosen a very special little man to honor. First, let me tell you that you likely have never heard of this man because he was not a politician. He was not a war hero. He never made an important speech. Yet, he was the crusader for human rights and became the best friend of two people who did much to save democracy. Most modern-day media consultants would not have given this guy a chance. No way could he ever succeed in their mind. You see, the patriot we are highlighting this week looked like an ultimate loser. I'm laughing, but it's pathetic. Picture this. He was a short man, only about 5 feet 5 inches. He wore wrinkled clothes and was always covered with cigarette ashes. He was not a handsome man, and some people later said no matter how happy this week's honoree was, he always looked depressed. Well, the way he's dressed, I can imagine that. Well, anyway, he was born in Indianapolis just after the Civil War. Everyone made fun of him as a child. He found, though, that he was good at something. He was a natural writer. By the time he was in high school, he was working for a local newspaper. By his early 20s, he had a job with the New York Herald and was sent upstate to cover politics in Albany. He instantly discovered that politics was a great topic and soon became a political expert. In fact, he nearly single-handedly got one of New York State's governors elected to office. Dennis, I can't stand it. Who on earth is our honoree? Wait, Jimmy, wait. The governor of New York that our honoree had helped get elected was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. But before all that happened, our honoree performed another miracle. Dennis, what are you talking about? Calm down, Jimmy. Calm down. Just keep reading, please. All right. You see, Jimmy, for many, many years, Franklin Delano Roosevelt had disappeared from people's minds. He suffered from incredible bouts of depression. He rented a houseboat and ran off to the Florida Keys for a period of 3 years. Now, partners, listen carefully. It was during the time that FDR was nowhere to be seen that our honoree contacted a very lonely lady, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's wife, Eleanor. Yes, Eleanor Roosevelt. Our honoree told her something that changed her life. He told her, and I'm quoting now, "Miss Roosevelt, someday your husband will be president and you will be the first lady." Well, Eleanor nearly fainted. What nerve did this little man in the wrinkled clothing covered with cigarette ashes have telling her that she would be first lady and that her husband, who had essentially run away from society because of polio and depression, would eventually be president? Well, these are pretty good questions. And you still haven't given us the honoree's name. But Mrs. Roosevelt listened. Our honoree convinced her to enter the women's division of the New York State Democratic Party. I'll repeat that. Our honoree convinced her to enter the women's division of the New York State Democratic Party. Day after day, he coached her in public speaking. Soon, Eleanor Roosevelt was a rising political star. La-di-da, as Webster would say. Good for her. Then our honoree told her something else, quoting, "We must keep FDR's ideas alive. Someday he will return, and together You can help change the world, end quote. Finally, FDR did come back. He entered politics, and with Eleanor beside him and our honoree behind him, he was elected governor of New York State. I think it's time to mention our honoree's name. I don't think it's time. I know it is. Dennis, come on. All right. Here it is. Louis Howe. Howe. Let me say that again. Please do. Louis Howe. It was little, messy Louis Howe who taught both Eleanor Roosevelt and Franklin Delano Roosevelt the ins and outs of politics. Louis Howe eventually went on to Washington as a White House advisor. He convinced the First Lady Eleanor to start holding her own press conferences. He told her to start writing a daily newspaper column called My Day. And he told her to start working on women's rights and civil rights. Most historians say that had it not been for this little guy, his encouragement and advice, FDR would have died a lonely invalid, and the history of America would be very different. Partners, isn't it funny? History can be like a line of dominoes. You ever see how they get lined up, and then you just tap one, it falls against another one, and ding, 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 ding. Then they just start falling at the same time. I'm going around the circle, whatever it is. Had Louis Howe not been an unattractive, sickly child, he might never have become a journalist. Had Louis Howe not been such a good journalist, he would never have gone to New York City. Had he not gone to the state capitol to cover politics, he would have never met Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt. Partners, everyone has the political potential. Yes, the political potential to change history. So during this Thanksgiving week, let's give thanks that America has had the patriots it needed at the right time. Even if one was a strange-looking little guy in a wrinkled suit covered with cigarette ashes. Let's say his name again, Louis Howe. Okay, partners, you know the drill. Look up there at the three boxes on the right side. The one farthest to the right has that familiar red X. Click it and return to my report page for the rest of this week's comments. Dennis, you certainly brought us a very important honoree, and I don't remember hearing his name until I read your script. Hey guys, I love you all. Thanks for your comments. They mean so much. Go get 'em, Tigers!